Have you ever found the Spirit talking to you in an uncommon place, like not at church or not during your prayers? Well, this happened to me the other day on the treadmill, and I wanted to share this big aha that I had. But before I go there, I'd love to share just a little bit of my journey with a limiting belief. So, the sneaky thing that I have found with limiting beliefs is that they are so strongly ingrained in us that they're really a part of us. And because they've become a part of us, sometimes it's really hard to see those things. And especially after recording the podcast with John, have had more awareness around my own limiting beliefs. In October, I've always loved to walk. We live in Salt Lake City, Utah. It gets really cold in the winter, and I found a used treadmill on a used like a sales site, classifieds. And I was on the Peloton or on the bike doing a Peloton class when I had this insight. Adrienne Williams is the teacher that I found that I really enjoy. You can follow me on Peloton. My name's Kathy, KATHY_ski. And in this first class for beginners, he shared something that like profoundly shifted the way that I look at myself. And I think it was probably one of the biggest breakthroughs I've had in the last 6 months. So I'm in this class. I've always loved to walk. I'm used to walking, but here I am, doing something a little brave and a little different about my own fitness, and using that as a way to move energy and using that as a way to process, but also for my physical body, but also I feel like for my emotional and just my mind. Like I always feel better in my mind after I've had a good workout. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that. So Adrienne's talking about this class and about people holding us back. And in that moment, I could see me. I could see my legs, and I could see as if it were people kind of like in The Little Mermaid when she goes down to Ursula and all the little like sea people that are at the bottom are like reaching for my legs, right? Like trying to grab and pull me down and slow me down. And in that moment, I got really, really mad. And let me tell you, like anger and being mad is not an emotion that I really ever allow myself to feel. And I did in this moment. It started out kind of like as a small anger, and then it grew and it grew and it grew. And this big anger came out, and I was literally yelling on the treadmill. And I don't know if you know what happens when you've had 3 kids and you yell on a treadmill, you pee your pants, which is what I did. And here I am on the treadmill, running and yelling and moving all of this really, really big energy. And just had such a profound experience in how I have played small and how I have held myself back so often because I thought I needed to make everybody else around me comfortable, and so I would be uncomfortable. And so here I am on the treadmill, picturing this, having a lot of these, this feeling of being held back, and me just saying, no more. And since then, I've put a lot of thought into this and kind of leaned into it and worked with some of the different practitioners that I work with in now that I've moved all this energy out, how do I replace this with a new program? And let me tell you, I started an 8-week running class for beginners on the Peloton. And you guys, it has completely changed my life. I can run. Now, I can't run for a full 20 minutes yet, but I can run in intervals. And every time I do it, I get a little bit better. Some days I don't do as great, and that's okay. But I can feel myself getting stronger, and I'm building that credibility and that confidence within myself and seeing myself in a way that I've never seen myself. And you guys, it is so beautiful to have that and to have that belief in myself, but also to now feel strength in my body where I didn't feel strong before, to feel strength in my mind where before I would quit when it got really hard. And that has just really been a new part of my routine. I enjoy getting on the treadmill. I enjoy changing my own perception and really leaning into what I am capable of. So little by little, I keep working on that. So here I was last week on the treadmill, again with Adrienne Williams, Go Thunder Squad. And I did a run called Year of Yes Run. If you want to look it up, it's a great run. I can add the link in our show notes. And he talked about gratitude being such a great thing because gratitude really is contagious. And he said this profound thing that is so simple, but I had never grasped it in this way before. And what he said is, what do we do when we're kids? What's the first thing we learn when we're about to receive something? What do we say? We say thank you. And for me, that was such a beautiful shift of understanding how the practice of gratitude comes before we receive anything. Like we do a lot, and even in our prayers, in asking for what we want, or if we're trying to manifest something either in our personal life or in our work life. So often we're focused on the receiving part and leave out the gratitude part. So I got a little curious after I was reading about that and did some research about why gratitude is so powerful. And according to the vast majority of psychologists, researchers, experts, they say that gratitude is one of the few things that can literally change our lives for the better. There's a strong correlation between the increased feelings of happiness and self-worth, and giving or receiving gratitude is so much more than one really thinks that it is. And we are happy because we are grateful. And it's not the other way around. We aren't grateful because we're happy, but we have that gratitude first. I can share probably like 100 stats because I have them all right here in my notes. But I just wanted to share a couple of those because I think there's this beautiful relationship between us giving and us receiving. In October, John was in a really bad bike accident. He was hit by a car coming down Mill Creek Canyon. And we got to experience firsthand this practice of having gratitude, even in a moment of chaos and crisis, and to receive the love and the prayers that were given to us. And since then, I have been just fascinated with this process of this experience that we're having here on earth, how so easily we can go from being the one making somebody dinner to the one receiving dinner, or to be the one, picking up the neighbor kid from school to the one like needing help. And I think for me, especially as a woman and especially as a mom, it's hard to receive. It has been really hard for me to be comfortable with that. And there's even some interesting research about the gratitude in our brain and how gratitude, it boosts the neuron transmitters with serotonin, and it activates the brainstem part that produces the dopamine. So really, the more we think these positive and grateful thoughts, the happier that we feel. But there's also something really that powerful that happens within our brain when we receive something, let's say an offer for someone to make us dinner. When we receive it, not only do we get that dopamine boost, but the person giving that to us also receives that. So when we're receiving, not only are we having that experience for ourselves, but it becomes a shared experience where the person that is giving is also having that experience. So I think that's just a beautiful relationship with giving and receiving. And another really interesting statistic that I found is that regular gratitude journaling has been shown to result in a 5 to 15% increase in optimism and a 25% increase in sleep quality. How cool is that? So I'm really excited to share that on radicaltransformation.org, we are opening up a shop and we have a beautiful gratitude journal that we will be selling. I guess I put it over here. And you can open it up. You can practice gratitude in the morning, in the evening. You can just do a couple of bullet points, and I'll include the link to that journal. And for those of you that are listening and can't see, it's a small square journal, and just a really great place to have it out, to have it somewhere that you'll see it in between, maybe making lunches in the morning or in the evening when you're prepping for dinner. I have found that when I can habit stack, like in Atomic Habits, that's when I get time to do those things, right? Like I'm never going to sit down and have 15 minutes just to like sit and be grateful. It comes in between, and it comes, even having it in your purse, to have in your car when you're waiting for kids to pick up, just taking 30 seconds to not scroll on your phone and just to sit and be intentional and sit with that emotion is a really great way to not only boost your happiness, but to sleep better. So wanted to share just that really simple act of having gratitude, thanking before we receive. And wanted to share just one last thing is in yoga, we learn that when we give from the front and from our heart. But when we receive, it's actually in the back of our heart. So if you maybe have some back problems, I would suggest that maybe you look at how comfortable you are with receiving and lean into that a little bit. And maybe the next time someone gives you a compliment, say thank you. Hope you have a wonderful week. Your transformation takeaway today is simply, in this moment right now, to think of 3 things that you're grateful for. And my heart is so full with so much gratitude for you that you would join us on your journey, spend the time and listen to this podcast. We love you and we appreciate you, and you are a light and a force for good in this world. Have a wonderful week.